Hey, whippersnappers, it's Tortimer the Gray. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Gray version Season 4. Today we are kicking off the RU tier by jumping in with RU Rivals. And starting off, I've got Stinkhorn, a new member of our team, who comes in and is doing my setup. So we are getting some Spore up, getting some Spikes up. And then just wrecking as much havoc as we can in the meantime there. Stinkhorn clearing away some hazards and then switching in Boot. Boot is my starter from Pokemon Legends Arceus, so good to see Hisuian Typhlosion in here again. Stinkhorn then switches back in, gonna take a Dragon Pulse and go down, at which point then Ahsoka, you might remember Ahsoka from earlier on this season, showed up as a Choodle. Choodle was the first legitimate shiny that I caught in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I shouldn't say legitimate, I should say full odds. Well, I guess maybe it's the first legitimate. Well, I didn't catch any illegitimate shinies, but I also, pretty much all of my shinies in Sword and Shield came from breeding as opposed to catching. So I felt like breeding was more interesting because then I could get really good shinies, like good stats for all my wasted time. As opposed to just catching something random that would be garbage. Apollo, my starter, is evolved here up against the Chestnut. Set up the bulk up and then is going to go ahead and throw up some moves on the Chestnut here. Using that body press and then going down to Apollo there. At which point then Cinders comes in. I'm going to throw up the extra sensory and finish off my starter. And then Boot, Typhlosion v Typhlosion. I'm going to come in, force out that Pokemon. The Shadow Ball going to land on the Goodra. I think I even commented in the chat, I was like, holy cow, the defenses on that thing. Because Goodra is a wall, but man, that was something. I think Flygon said it had the Assault Vest on it or something. Maybe that's a different Goodra? I don't see that showing up in chat, so maybe Goodra did that to me twice this week. I don't remember. Calross, the Orthworm, comes out and is going to stand up in the face of the Cloyster there and be able to finish it off. At which point then Cinders comes in, and I try to tear it into water to offset the damage there, but not enough. And Cinders is going to finish off Calross and Stormfather and finish off our team. So, thank you so much for participating this week, Rival Flygon. I greatly appreciate it. We've got lots of battles. Everybody turned out this week, I think. I think pretty much everyone who's been actively participating for most of the series. We had some people who came back who haven't been around for a few weeks. And I think maybe Nougat is the only one who didn't get in here who's participated at all this season. I could be wrong about that, but I think we're doing pretty good this week. But that means we got a lot of battles to get to. So once again, thank you again, Rival Flygon. Let's jump into it, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, and here we are up against Rival Codeman, and Codeman leads off with the Oricorio. I decided to go for Boot. I guess I looked at this team and was like, you know what? Stinkhorn is not going to have the goods this battle, and so went ahead and switched into Boot. I think maybe I was expecting their own Tentacruel lead, and then just looking at the team, I'm like, yeah, Boot can pretty much handle all of this, so let's do that instead of sacrificing Stinkhorn. So Stinkhorn then comes in, takes the Ice Spinner, the Sash hangs in there. We get the Spore off, which is great. We've got the belly drummed Ice Cube, and it goes down, so that's fantastic. Stinkhorn doing good work despite the weaknesses here. There's a Sleep Pokemon is now KO'd, so we get to put some more Spore on the field. Dubbones doesn't stay asleep very long, though, and then is going to finish off Stinkhorn. At which point then Apollo's going to come in, throw up the bulk up there. We're up against a flying type. The taunt lands, but not going for a taunting here. The Air Slash going to do good damage against Primeape and then going to go down. At which point then Cordyceps comes in, the taunt lands, and again, Codeman's like, nope, I'm just going for the damage, and is going to do good work there. The Drain Punch doing surprisingly well. I guess we do have the slight attack boost there. The Drain Punch obviously decimating the 4 times weak Bisharp there. And then the Rage Fist doing really good work against Vinsmoke there, and then Cordyceps dying to the spikes that Stinkhorn put up. So a good decisive victory there for Apollo, dishing out damage I would not have expected, especially considering we only had the 1 attack boost up. But doing good work there either way, and I'll take it. I was really actually surprised about the Armor Rouge, because I feel like that's supposed to be the defensive one. Surprised it went down so hard, but I guess it had taken some spikes damage potentially. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, so let's thank you so much for participating this week, Rival Codeman. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next battle, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, and here we are up against rival Shunosaurus. Stinkhorn comes in and is going to get the Spore up, but not before taking a hard quadruple effective Ice Beam there. Quilber is going to be enough to finish off Stinkhorn while only getting up one layer of spikes. Stormcrow comes in and sets up the Tailwind just to be safe, and then I go for the U-turn. I don't know why. I guess I was expecting the potential switch into Crocodile there. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was expecting the switch into Crocodile. So I went for the U-turn. Apollo then going to switch in. Wilbur comes off, and I set up the Taunt. And then the Rage Fist does pretty decent damage. The Stored Power doesn't do much because obviously Wilbur can't set up the Stored Power. I think Shun wrecked me with Wilbur at some point with a Grumpig. I think earlier on, yeah, because we had a Psychic Gym earlier on. I think we had that Store Power Grumpig terrorize us earlier, so the Taunt doing good work there. Ahsoka coming in and setting up the Shell Smash, but not going to be enough. The Trailblaze is easily going to come in and finish off the 4 times weak Ahsoka. Just overplayed my hand on that one. Stormcrow then going to switch in. I think I decided maybe I didn't need Ahsoka, really. Stormcrow comes in, lands the Hurricane, does surprisingly good damage to the Crocodile, finally finishing it off with that expected U-turn there. Boot then going to go down, loses the speed tie, and going to go down. Stormcrow going to go down. And then Orthworm comes in. Calros going to take a hard Shadow Ball. Not going to go down, though. I set up the substitute, but unfortunately the Shadow Ball is just going to break it there. Calros does get one move off, though, the Body Press, but not going to be enough to defeat the Stuffle there, and is going to go down. So, good victory. Very decisive, I guess. Shun still's got 4 Pokemon left. So, good victory there by rival Shunosaurus this week. Thank you so much for participating this week, Shun. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. And we find ourselves up against rival Adarum. Adarum leads off with Tyranitar. There was some discussion in the Discord this week, just befuddlement that Tyranitar has sunk so low as to be here in RU, but able to force it out. Stinkhorn getting some spikes. I almost said rocks. Not Stealth Rocks this week. We're working with spikes. Get the Rotom to sleep there. The Staraptor switching out. Staraptor switching back in. Able to shrug off the spikes. Obviously, being a flying type, U-turns back out into Tyranitar. Tyranitar taking some damage, getting the sand set back up. Stormcrow then going to U-turn on out, do a little bit of damage to the Dark type there, and then Ahsoka switching in. The substitute gets set up with a Tyranitar. Liquidation comes in. I think this is where this is where I make mistakes. No, it's not. Okay, it's another Tyranitar. Maybe it's Scads. Scad, I think. Yes, it is Scads. So keep an eye out for rival Scads. Tyranitar does a little more work this week. Ahsoka sets up the Shell Smash because I guess I wanted to waste a turn. No, I survived. I got faster than that Staraptor and was able to take it out with some Stone Edge. So that's fantastic. Mimikyu finishing off. At which point then Boot switches in. Boot gonna tear it into the Fire type. So I don't have super effective damage coming from the Mimikyu here. Breaking the disguise as Mimikyu starts setting up the Swords Dance. The Shadow Snake would have not KO'd if we were Ghosts, so that was the first good Terra we had this week. Boot going to be able to get the Shadow Ball off, but a Slowbro Terra's into Steel to avoid that. Apollo comes in with the Drain Punch, takes a decent Psychic there, and forces out the Slowbro when they realize that it's going to go down in one more hit. Rotom comes in, still sleeping off. Apollo going to take the opportunity to bulk up a little bit, take advantage of the Rotom there. The Drain Punch doing good damage. Apollo healing back up. I did just go for the Drain Punch here. Alrighty there. Oh yeah, we're down to the final Pokemon there. I go for the Drain Punch on the Steel Slowbro then and finish it off, and down goes rival Addy. So yeah, I think I mentioned in the Discord after my final battle, I think Mac is our final rival for the week. Yeah, this week was all over the place. So we had some where we still had 4 Pokemon remaining. Previously, Shun just had 4 Pokemon remaining. So kind of all over the gambit this week on me totally getting wrecked, other people getting wrecked, things like that. But a fun battle here against rival Addy. So thank you so much for participating this week, Addy. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, and here we are up against rival Update. Update leading off with the Fortress, getting a good Gyro Ball off. Very surprised by the damage on that thing. Gyro Ball able to finish off Stinkhorn there with only 1 layer of spikes and only 1 turn of sleep. That's rough. Boot comes in with the Eruption, but the Fortress is going to hang on. Goes for the Rapid Spin, but forgot that we were ghost type at that point, so did not get rid of our 1 layer of spikes, so we'll take that. Apollo sets up the taunt, but Demetrius was not bothering with that. Gonna go ahead and flame body us and then flamethrower us, so doing some good work on Apollo here. The flamethrower going to continue to do damage, as is the burn. The taunt ends, and we go for the Rage Fist, just barely not taking out the Pokemon here and allowing it to get rocks up, so that's a bit of a rough turnout for us. And then Apollo's going to go down to the Hariyama. I almost forgot that Pokemon's name. Stormcrow's got them heavy boots, so Stormcrow comes in on the rocks, tries for the Hurricane, misses, takes a hard close combat, lands the second Hurricane, able to take down the Hariyama, so we'll take that. The Staraptor comes in and is going to go down to a Thunderbolt, so that's fantastic, but then Stormcrow going to go down to the Toxtricity. Ahsoka then switching in the normal Terra type there, going to make it immune to what Ahsoka's playing, and boost the Boom Burst there, so that's good work for them. Boot then switches in, going to throw the Shadow Ball up on the Cloyster, and Bombshell updates Starter goes down, at which point then Calros is going to come in up against Boulevard, and going to go down to that. Boot then switches in and throws up the Eruption. Had to sacrifice Calros there to switch. I think Boot was Choice Scarfed. So in order to get off of the Ghost type move that we were using, now that Update's final Pokemon was now Normal type, had to switch out, do the sacrifice play, and then bring Boot back in. So a really close battle there against rival Updates. So thank you so much for participating this week, Update. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, and here we are up against rival Scad. Scad bringing in her trademark lime green Espeon. The Magikarp not bouncing back the Spore. She was confused about that for a second there. Then Stinkhorn going to take down the Cloyster, so that's fantastic. At least we don't have to worry about Cloyster setting up Shell Smashes. But we do have a Kaiju coming in here setting up Dragon Dances. Stinkhorn now has 25% of its special attack, and I realized that I've made a grave mistake allowing Tyranitar to start setting up Dragon Dances, at which point then Ahsoka comes in. I've got the balloon, so I'm not worried about Earthquakes. She does have the ever RNG dependent Stone Edge there, and Ahsoka manages to withstand a couple of them, but the Terra into Flying leaves Ahsoka without too much reliable that she can do against Kaiju. I have my own Stone Edge, but not able to do much with it. Stinkhorn then switches in, and unfortunately, again, Flying type, Stinkhorn's previously reliable coverage for Tyranitar goes out the window, and Stinkhorn's going to go down. I make some misplays here. We will recognize that issue here in a second. Boot comes in, immediately goes down. Apollo comes in, not immediately goes down, but again, Flying type, Drain Punch not going to do much for us here. Kaiju gaining back a little bit of health each turn, and Apollo going to go down. At which point then Stormcrow comes in, the Stone Edge manages to connect that time, and I'm like, oh no, this is just going to be embarrassing. And then Calros switches in. I forget that Earth Eater exists, for one thing. Forgot that it was something that I had at my disposal. I didn't remember. I've never used an Earthworm. So, yeah, the first time this week that I think Earth Eater, which is basically like ground water absorbed, comes into play, able to take out the Tyranitar here, and then I set up in the face of the fortress, going ahead behind my sub, setting up coils. Calros is running Body Press, I want to say, and Iron Head, and so the attack boost and the defense boost helping out here, able to get good Iron Heads off on the Espeon there, setting up some additional coils, because I want to make sure I've got what I need against future Pokemon. Body Press uses the defense stat as the attacking multiplier, so that works out well for Calros as well. Breaking the Disguise as the Mimikyu starts setting up Sword Dances. The Play Rough misses, which is really unfortunate for Scad, and then the Iron Head connects on the second turn, finishing off the Mimikyu. And then I set up another coil here because I really don't want to lose against this fortress. I figured I'll take the opportunity. Body Press lands. Obviously, the Bug type is not going to be a super effective move. Calros able to withstand the last Volt Switch and then finish off. I didn't even register when we did this battle. I was like in chat, wow, okay, I thought I was going to lose that very embarrassingly. I didn't even realize until just now that Calros actually fainted on that last move too. So I get the final feint, but managed to eke out victory. Could not have a closer battle, literally. That is the closest a battle could possibly have gone. I was thinking, in my mind, because I've already prepared for next week, which we'll see what that is, but that's obviously our gym battle. At second week of a tier is our gym battle always. I was thinking in my head, because I've already prepared for that, this was a gym battle week, and I was like, all right, I've got to assign gym leader or whatever. On a rival week, I don't have to assign anybody anything. We don't have like an admin rival or whatever. So I was like, that SCAD battle was really close. I did not realize quite how close it was, though. That could not have been a closer battle. SCAD and I always have, we're very well matched for whatever reason. Sometimes you guys just wipe the floor with me. Sometimes I get lucky and wipe the floor with you guys. It seems like every time I battle SCAD, we come down to the wire like that. So thank you so much for participating this week, Rival SCAD. I greatly appreciate it. We've got, looks like 2 more battles, so we'll jump on over to those, but thanks again, SCAD. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, and here we are up against rival Klungar. Klungar leading off with the Noivern, able to get the Spore off on Queen there. Stinkhorn going to start doing its usual thing on setting up. Noivern going to wake up after 2 turns and finish off the Stinkhorn, so that works out well for Klungar. Ahsoka then going to take the Draco Meteor. I think I had planned on Shell Smashing here. I think that works for me. Yeah, we are able to take out the Noivern, but then Rook comes in. I don't know what Tablets of Ruin does, but able to get a decent Stone Age there before going down. I do love the sprite on this thing. I'm still just a sucker for sprites, guys. Man, I think I was talking to Scat at some point about how I'm potentially done with future Pokemon releases. I know that's sacrilege to say, but I honestly, like, I love playing Pokemon, but I would honestly rather in some instances just play like a ROM hack of Emerald with all the new Pokemon in it or something, where they've done the sprites and things like. I just love it. Anyway, that's a whole tangent. Pawn gonna go down to Boots Shadow Ball there. Klungar then brings in Knight, sets up the Endure, which is going to be necessary because then Knight's gonna go down, gets the boost there, goes into Psychic type, but unfortunately just not gonna do anything for Klungar. I am Scarfed, so not much he could do. Then Deep Blue comes in with the Night Slash, gonna get the Body Press off and finish it off, and take victory over rival Klungar. So thank you so much for participating this week, Klungar. I greatly appreciate it. Klungar especially, and, well, I guess Scad, Klungar, and our final rival, I think I mentioned it already, was Mac. A lot of people jumped in real last minute, just like really wanted to get their battles in, and I obviously, this is Tuesday afternoon and I'm recording it, so obviously I was in no rush, but very, very happy to have so many people returning this week. We had a real light week last week, I want to say, and obviously the last 2 episodes took like they were like a month late, so like the series was kind of dead in the water for a bit, so I think there was less interest in participation and things like that, but thank you so much for everyone, especially Klungar, for jumping in here and getting their battles in at the end there. So thank you so much, Klungar. Let's jump into the last battle for the week, shall we? Here we go. And here we are with our final rival of the week up against rival Mac, and Mac's making a triumphant return. I think the last time we saw Mac was in episode 15, I want to say. But life is busy, and I don't begrudge anybody popping in or out. That's kind of the whole point of this series. So glad to have you back, Mac. Goop then is going to come in. Oh, this is the one. This is the. You both had shiny Gudras there. Yeah, that thing did like 2% damage. It was like, holy cow, the defenses on that thing. Yeah, Assault Vest Gudra is just too much special defense for me. At which point then, he's got a Bramblegast. If that's not the right one, I apologize. I don't really like this Pokemon, and I certainly haven't used it yet. So, whatever this thing is, we'll say Bramblegast. Able to take out a good number of my team here. Calross going to come in, and we're both going to set up our subs. They're going to go for the Power Whip, which is going to be resisted and does not break the sub. I start setting up some coils here. I honestly don't remember if this works out for me, so let's find out together. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. All right, so we're able to get rid of the sub. The Strength Sap is going to get rid of the attack boost, but, well, no, it's a Ghost type, so we can't use the Body Press to take advantage of the defense. The Iron Head does good damage on the Goop, though, before it comes in and finishes off with Fire Blast. At which point, then, Ahsoka is going to come in, and Ahsoka is going to finish Goop off with an Earthquake there. Bazap finishing off Ahsoka, no surprise there. Yeah, no, we definitely get wrecked here, because I don't even remember seeing Azelf and stuff. Bazap then going to throw up the Thunderbolt, yeah, and finish off Boots. So, yeah, another kind of whirlwind there. Had some really close battles, had some where I got completely swept like this one, and then some where we, were a little more evenly matched, or where we did some sweeping of our own. But yeah, so it was a weird all over the week. Sometimes, like, I will build teams, and like within the first couple battles of a week, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be bad. And then you guys do proceed to just like wreck my team that week. I'm just like, okay, I did not prepare for the obvious play here. Apparently, I missed that whole thing, because usually I just kind of like pick Pokemon that I think are cool, and I'm like, well, let's try to, like, I'm not like, okay, I need a special defensive wall, I need a defensive wall, I need this coverage because this is the most likely play, and like I don't do any of that. I'm just like, hey, this Pokemon's kind of cool, I haven't gotten to use this one before. And I grab it and go. Yeah, so this week it worked out pretty well, I guess. We matched up pretty well against some of you. Did not do against some of the others, but usually it's not that kind of up and down. Usually it's like I either do pretty good or I just get wrecked all week. So yeah, a very fun week of battles. Always exciting when I go in not really knowing what I'm getting into. And you guys all had some very interesting teams. Again, like I don't think we saw a Bronzong or an Azelf or some of these other Pokemon at all this week. So yeah, a very cool battle. Thank you so much for wrapping us up this week, Rival Mac. So I have already posted. Obviously, this is a Tuesday. I tried to get the roll out to you guys end of last week, just so we could try and keep on a usual schedule. Yeah, so let's jump over, and I will let the viewing audience at the very least know what our role is for this next week, so they know what to anticipate in our RU gym battle. Yeah, hopefully those of you guys who are participating will already be well underway with your team building at this point. So let's jump on over that, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, so here we go. As I said, we have already previously rolled this. Now, I've saved and closed and reopened this since then, so this RNG is reset. But we did roll the Ice type, so that is going to be what we're doing. We've got Ice type RU singles this week as our gym battle. That'll be gym number 5, so inching over the halfway point of our gym battles at the very least, and then we got the Elite Four and everything like that. We're still pretty early on in this series, I guess. I think I've got it the way I've got it mapped out. It should be a 23 episode series. So yeah, we're going into episode 11. So yeah, we're not even halfway through yet. But I will note. Well, it's not really important to note at this point. But I've started talking about it already, so we'll do it. I will note that at least based on the last intel I have, which is a screenshot that I found on my phone while I was looking for something else. I could have confirmed this, but I did not. I think UU is, as we move into UU, not obviously we've got the Ice Gym. Once the Ice Gym is completed, we'll move into UU, and that opens doubles back up again. So that'll be exciting. And I think there's UU, OU, probably Uber. So probably the rest of the series after this Ice Gym, we'll be doing the doubles roll each week as well to determine the battle format, because I think we'll have to double check and make sure that there is a doubles meta available for that particular tier. But I know UU and OU at least have it. So for the next 6 weeks or whatever after this one, we'll be doing potentially doubles, which will be a lot of fun. That always shakes things up nicely. But yeah, so there we go. We've got the Ice RU Gym wrapping up the RU tier here. It'll be interesting because we inched over into September as we were waiting for this, and that Flygon always keeps us up to date on the tier shifting. So there's some tier shifting that has happened. Like half the Pokemon that I used this week are now bumped down to NU or whatever, So yeah, that shakes things up a little bit. I actually rolled this when I put the roll in the chat. I prepared my team because my team fares pretty well against ice types. So I was like, well, I might hold on to some of these guys or whatever. I got my team prepped, and then Flygon posted that. I was like, well, maybe I'll go back and tweak it a little bit. So yeah, you guys hopefully are well underway in prepping your ice type gym teams. Hopefully we'll get some great battles this week that we can all enjoy next episode. But anyway, guys, I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. If you guys would like to participate and you've not done so already, I doubt there's any of you guys out there because I say this most of the time, and we never really get any new faces in here, which is fine. We've got a great core group of people who are participating each week. But if you would like to participate and you've not done so already, there are links in the description down below to both Pokemon Showdown and to Discord. Both applications are necessary for doing this series. You got to be in my Discord, which you can have on your phone or your desktop or just use in the browser. You have to have Discord in order to coordinate battling with me. And then you also, get the rolls early and things like that usually. And then you have to have Pokemon Showdown, which is where we do the actual battling. That is also can be used on mobile, desktop, or in browser, I believe. They don't have an app, but you can use it in like a mobile browser or something. Which is I've done battles like that many times. So but yeah, anyway, I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I will see you all back here next time for the Ice Gym. Alrighty, guys, have a good one.